At Christmas dinner, my brother smiled, raised his glass, and announced something that nobody had warned me about. "Mom and Dad are giving me the house," he said. Then he looked directly at me and added, "Claire doesn't need it." For a second, nobody moved. My mother froze with her fork halfway to her mouth. My father stared into his wine. And suddenly I realized something terrifying. This wasn't news. This had already been decided. I looked toward the kitchen window where a tiny brass ornament shaped like a house hung every Christmas. My mother used to say the same thing every year when we were kids. A home belongs to the people who protect it, not the people who talk the loudest. I looked back at her and quietly asked, "Mom, do you want to explain this or should I?" My brother laughed and told me not to create drama. But I wasn't looking at him. I was watching my father avoid my eyes. I'm 34 years old. I work in aviation investigations. My job is finding hidden truths after disasters. But standing in my childhood kitchen, I realized my own family had become a case. I stepped outside for air. A minute later, my father followed me and said, "You embarrassed your brother." I looked at him and asked, "Or did he embarrass all of us?" He started explaining how Owen handled bills, helped Mom with appointments, and stayed close while I traveled for work. Then I asked him something I hadn't mentioned in years. "Did Owen tell you about Grandma's missing money?" His face changed instantly. Years earlier, $9,000 quietly disappeared from Grandma's estate. Owen blamed paperwork. I paid it back because I wanted to save the family from another broken holiday. That silence told me enough. The next morning I stopped acting like a daughter and started thinking like an investigator. I offered to help Owen organize the garage. He agreed too quickly. He stayed attached to his phone, protected his laptop, and kept walking outside for calls. Then his phone lit up beside me. Transfer failed. Insufficient funds. Whitaker Home Equity Reserve. My stomach dropped. That wasn't normal. I called my friend Marisol, who worked in financial fraud. I asked her what manipulation usually looked like when older parents were involved. She gave me a list. Hidden withdrawals. Changed account access. Emergency paperwork. Power of attorney. The next day I drove Mom to her appointment myself. Owen tried stopping me. I ignored him. While waiting, Mom quietly admitted something. Weeks earlier, Owen had taken her to sign emergency documents after she felt dizzy. She never actually read them. That night we checked everything. Emails had changed. Accounts moved. Transfers created. Then I found the document. Power of attorney. But hospital records showed Mom had still been under observation when she supposedly signed. Then I noticed something else. Her signature was wrong. She always underlined the last letter. This one didn't. I sent everything to my cousin Daniel, a real estate attorney. His response came quickly. This could be fraud. 2 days later we set the confrontation. 3 folders sat on the kitchen table. Bank records. Medical records. Property documents. Then instantly switched into his usual role. Reliable son. Victim. Misunderstood brother. He said I was stressed from work and creating problems. I let him talk. Then I pressed play. His recorded voice filled the room. "Once the house is transferred, I'll refinance and sell." Then his voice continued. "They don't understand the numbers. Claire won't stay long enough to stop me." The room became completely silent. My father slowly stood up and said, "Get out." That's when everything collapsed. Owen admitted the debt, the loans, the plan to sell the house, the plan to use Mom's illness. That night the power of attorney was revoked. The bank froze accounts. The transfer stopped. Weeks later Owen came back crying and asking for forgiveness. My father looked at him quietly and said, "Get help," then closed the door. Months later, Mom hung the brass house ornament back in the kitchen window. She smiled at me and said something I'll never forget. "Love without honesty isn't love." And standing there, looking at that tiny brass house, I finally understood something. Family isn't the people who share your name. Family is the people who protect your home.